Welcome to this seasonal episode in which we ask a revealing question. What if Santa was Japanese? It's rare to find a Japanese home with a chimney. In fact, the majority of homes not only lack Western-style fireplaces, central heating systems and effective insulation are also rare. Historically, the design and construction of traditional Japanese homes reflected the frequency of earthquakes and other natural disasters. You only use brick and stone if you expect a house to last. Even today, there's a perception that buildings over 30 or 40 years old, including reinforced concrete apartment blocks, are simply not safe. Timber was readily available in most areas, and despite regional variations in construction methods, the majority of homes were made of wood with thatched roofs that simply wouldn't support a parked sleigh and a prancing team of reindeer. A traditional Japanese hearth, or irori, was a stone-lined pit in the floor with an adjustable iron pot hook called a jizekage. Although there was a small window or kemuridashi in the roof of the house to allow smoke to escape, this wasn't as efficient as a chimney and posed a greater risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. But just like Iron Age homes in Europe, the smoke accumulating around the rafters would treat the roofing materials, helping to preserve them and deter termite infestations. In other words, a classic Viking raider would feel right at home. Well, at least until he was asked to take off his shoes. It wasn't until the Meiji era, 1868 to 1912, the chimneys began to appear in Japan, but they were largely confined to factories. One of the most prominent landmarks in contemporary Japanese cities are tall white chimneys with red twinkling aircraft warning lights attached to giant incinerators for household waste. Unfortunately for Santa, they tend to fire up at night when the contribution to urban air pollution is less likely to be noticed. The majority of Japanese households continue to use the fan heater setting on their air conditioning units or small portable heaters to get through the mercifully short winter. But there is also a more traditional heating system known as a kotatsu. Originally, this was a blanket over a glowing pot of charcoal that the whole family would clamber under on long winter nights. In the 1950s, these became jumbo-sized electric blankets and are still a popular seller. In short, if Santa was Japanese, he'd come in through the front door, take off his boots, tiptoe across the tatami floor, and look for a tree that hadn't been mercilessly pruned. Along the way, he might stop for refreshments, but would be unlikely to find cookies and milk. Right now, matcha is all the rage. Coffee chains are awash with green tea lattes, and convenience store shelves are heaving with matcha-flavored treats, even ice cream. It's become the superhero of superfoods, rubbing shoulders with acai and chia seeds. If all you want for Christmas is to lower your blood pressure or shrink your waistline, the catechins, polyphenols, and generous amounts of vitamin C in matcha have allegedly got you covered. Japanese media has been raving about these health perks of late. Then again, news and paid marketing are almost identical twins and almost impossible to tell apart. Just like matcha and green tea. That's right, strictly speaking, and Japanese seldom speak any other way. Matcha comes from tencha leaves, dried and ground in a tea mill. These are plants that prefer to grow in shady areas, away from harsh sunlight, whereas the green tea sencha plants are all about catching some rays, dude. Excited children looking to earn brownie points and convince Santa that they're perfect little angels in order to max out their present haul might leave him a note. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. But Japanese seniors are not exactly famous for their ability to make decisions in a hurry, and the range of available flavors in Japan is quite vast. Luckily, matcha is one of the most popular flavors, and if there's one thing Japanese people love, it's rankings that help them to be just like everyone else. Unfortunately, chances are Santa is also going to leave you a year's supply of matcha-flavored snacks. Not the monster hunting video game you've been hoping for. But at least you'd have the consolation of gifts wrapped with origami precision. In Japan, shopkeepers are more than happier to assist with gift wrapping on request. Often the service is complimentary. Occasionally there might be a nominal fee of a few hundred yen, around $1 or $2. It's fascinating to watch the precision with which these gift wrapping professionals work with beautiful paper, ribbons and twine to turn even a modest gift into a sculptural work of art. Often it's better just to admire the wrapping and prolong the expectation, rather than find that Santa got it wrong again. If Santa was Japanese, he'd probably rock up outside your house in a minivan with a pocket full of Finnish reindeer chips. Even in Hokkaido, where snow falls like Joe Biden on a butter-coated staircase, there are no reindeer except in zoos. Here you'll encounter enthusiastic parents and excited children exclaiming delight at the real-life Rudolphs. You may well hear them say, "These are Santa's buddies. Aren't they charming? So kawaii," which is cute on steroids. Check out our previous video here if you'd like to know more. Wander into the gift shop and you'd probably see a long queue for reindeer-shaped souvenirs, especially soft toys. But chances are that before these happy families even make it back to the car park, they're Googling recipes for reindeer meat. Better yet, if they spot a restaurant that's climbing up the rankings with its doner and blitzen steaks, chances are they'll be willing to drive a considerable distance to make the day complete. Kind-hearted and sentimental as most Japanese are, it is impossible to underestimate the national obsession with food and seemingly naive willingness to be influenced by media reports. Natto are fermented soybeans that have the consistency of a slug with a head cold. They're often where people from abroad draw the line when it comes to local delicacies. But the day after a national TV station mentioned the health benefits of natto, supermarket shelves were empty. Any on-air suggestion that reindeer meat is a healthy alternative to teppanyaki steaks would be likely to cause an extinction-level all-you-can-eat frenzy. But chances are, if Santa was Japanese, he would just drive straight into your living room anyway. No nightly news bulletin in Japan would be complete without a fawning, wide-eyed report on the Major League Baseball career of Shohei Ohtani and the GDP of a developing nation used to persuade him to change jerseys. Of late, he's had stiff competition from stories of elderly drivers parking in the foyer of the local bank or alongside the selection of matcha snacks and reindeer chips next to the cash register of their local supermarket. The primary cause of these curb-mounting accidents appears to be that many seniors inadvertently mistake the accelerator pedal for the brake pedal, and then panic when things don't go to plan. A study by Fukushima University suggests that age-related changes in hip joint flexibility could be playing a role, especially when twisting to check behind while reversing. The government is urging drivers aged 75 and over to consider voluntarily surrendering their licenses. However, especially for those residing in rural areas where public transport options are limited, they are also investing in a drone delivery system for daily necessities. This comes with the bonus of persuading elderly Japanese to take the millions of yen in cash they keep stuffed under a mattress and pay it into an ailing bank so that the nation can go cashless. Perhaps the government just want to know if you've been good or bad, with better data tracking. Of course, halfway up a mountain, with increasingly intrusive wildlife searching for new food sources, drone delivery is not ideal. Studies suggest that seniors who stay at home and don't have regular human contact have an increased risk of depression and developing dementia. In true Japanese fashion, more technology is thought to be the solution. Robot caregivers are being tested in care homes around the country and sharing what they learn about suitable conversation topics. So perhaps if Santa was Japanese, he'd be a robot drone that delivers gifts to your porch and leaves you to squabble with the bears, monkeys, and Kit-Kat level range of insect life about who gets what. But what about if you were Japanese? Well, Santa would almost certainly arrive during the day on the 24th. Although neither Christmas Eve nor Christmas Day are national holidays in Japan, the focus of celebration tends to be the evening of the 24th. With only 1% of the population identifying as Christian. Like Valentine's Day, Christmas Eve is largely a commercial event that lends the economy a hopeful mid-winter boost. Bonenkai, or end-of-year office parties, helpfully coincide with Christmas before the more important New Year holiday takes off. Christmas tiptoed into the Japanese consciousness via Ginza's upscale department stores at the dawn of the 20th century, but didn't really take off until the post-war baby boom of the 1950s. Here we have yet another example of food leading the way, with Christmas cakes from renowned patisseries becoming a popular tradition. It didn't take long before red-faced fathers, staggering home on the last train from a boozy business get-together, didn't dare turn up at home without a peace offering in cake form. Unlike the fruitcakes that are common in Europe, these tend to be fluffy sponge wonders adorned with whipped cream or luscious strawberry shortcakes. Department stores rode that wave and introduced the current gift-giving extravaganza. So in Japan, Christmas Eve tends to be the focus of celebrations. Since the Kentucky for Christmas campaign in 1974, fried chicken is the Christmas dinner of choice in most households. But beware, securing your KFC party bucket requires advanced reservation. If Santa was Japanese, he'd probably be the take-a-break, finger-licking CEO of a food and drink conglomerate, who, despite not knowing his brake from his accelerator, would rely on an array of technology and an overworked staff of salary elves to get his hands on some of that cash under the mattress. He'd have a cluttered website explaining his management philosophy, something about serving society merely by making a profit. In Japan, red is an auspicious color for business branding, so that part wouldn't change. Gift delivery would be prompt, perfectly wrapped, but probably limited to what is trending on the nightly news rankings. But just like everyone else, Santa's primary focus would be the much more important New Year holiday that's just around the corner. And on that slightly cynical note, let us offer our sincere good wishes for whatever kind of midwinter holiday you celebrate, and all the very best for the year ahead. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to let in the new year. Thank you for watching. Not now, Rudolph. Thank you for watching, and have a merry little whatever. Ho, ho, ho.